All right, family. Again, welcome on behalf of the Teaching Artists Institute and our alliance of international universities on the continent of Africa. We're excited to welcome you here tonight to discuss our fourth annual Summer Learning Institute. This year, it'll be taking place in Tanzania, as well as Uganda. My name is Kim Poole. I'm the founder and executive director of the Teaching Artists Institute, and the Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange is the umbrella that manages the Summer Learning Institute. This opportunity in global learning is targeting professors in sabbatical that are looking to learn innovative approaches to instruction. It's an opportunity for students looking for study abroad and for artist activists that are interested in coming to the table as experts to teach arts integration across sector. And so we're going to begin by sharing a few videos of past participant experiences, and then we're going to get into some of the overviews and history of why the program exists and some of our partners for the 2024 year. After that, I'm hoping that you guys will ask plenty of questions. Do plan to come off camera and introduce yourself and tell us why you're here tonight and the type of artist that you are. This is not a one-way conversation. We're very interested in getting to know you and who's interested in our work. Every step in the process, in the journey, it matters. And so, thank you first and foremost for showing up tonight. It means that at some point you saw a message on social media, you received a text message, and or heard a positive experience from someone that has participated themselves. And so we definitely appreciate you demonstrating to us with your presence here tonight that something in our system and process is working. So thank you. I'm going to begin and share my screen. We're going to start with the mouth of babes because the young people are honest, sometimes to a fault.
Hello, my name is Isis, and I'm 16 years old, and I'm from the USA. So far we have went to Bagamoyo, and I have learned so much about culture being the new currency. Is that we are the currency, and we don't need money. We can exchange, we can barter because we are worth so much ourselves, and we can benefit each other in many ways. And I've been learning different kinds of dance, from African or Tanzanian traditional dance to Indian dance, and like fusing the different kind of dances together. So I've been learning Indian dance and Tanzanian dance and doing that together. With that being an example of culture is the new currency. And now here I am at Chemka Hot Springs, and I'm having a wonderful time with my friends in nature, and it's so beautiful. So yeah.
So her name was Isis. She's an example of someone that would be a target in our audience. Isis is a college student from the United States. She's an advanced student because she actually began college a year early, and she decided she would take what we call a gap year. A gap year is for students that aren't ready yet to begin their matriculation through undergrad, but they are qualified and already admitted to a university. And before they begin that journey, or to continue doing school the traditional way, they're looking to see what learning looks like in the world as a classroom. And so, shout out to Isis Davis for being our example of the first population that should be interested in the Summer Learning Institute. All right, we're going to go to who's next, and I'm going to share my screen again.
Hello, my name is.
This trip to Tanzania has been amazing. Ever since we got here, going into all the different cities, but we're in Bagamoyo and just like looking at the whole culture of the African people, connecting with the students and all the people that live here. It's just been really life changing and eye opening. And going up to Arusha now and just really feeling like the true the Africa of everything. Seeing the Maasai tribe, that was pretty life changing and amazing. Being out there, just in the open, like nothing around you but land. Now, the hot springs, climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, just the nature and the beauty of Africa. That's what this trip has really shown me. It's been amazing. It's beautiful. I can't wait for Zanzibar.
Hello, my name is Nati Mwebe. I am 15 years old and I am from Maryland, United States. As a Thai, or being a part of the Thai tours, as a tourist, I was able to witness a lot of things that I wouldn't normally never witnessed. We went to go see the Maasai and how they live across their life, what they do, how they dance, um, what they wear. I got to experience how they what they wore. It was amazing. Um, the slave dungeons in Bogamayo. It was to see how uh, uh, what it was before and how it has changed over time. And sooner or later, we are going to be going to Mount Kilimanjaro to walk up to the waterfall and experience that. So I'm excited. And Thai Tourist has given me this gift to experience things I have never witnessed before.
So that those two students were actually high school students, and I see we have someone else coming in. And so Nati, as well as Luca, high school students, 15 years of age. This Summer Learning Institute is also an opportunity for them to participate. They're preparing for adulthood, and a part of their ability to see the world for what it is, our global classroom, and actively contribute in positive ways. They need to be exposed to that world outside of the classroom that many of them have access to in high school. And so, this Summer Learning Institute is a perfect opportunity, a safe space to take your young people into a world outside the one you have raised them in. And so, Luca and Nati were examples of that. Now, we're going to talk about two other populations that would be perfectly targeted for this opportunity.
Hello, my name is Romita Salidi. I am a psychologist. I live in Washington, D.C. Hello, my name is Romita Salidi. I am a psychologist. I live in Washington, D.C. That's where I work in a juvenile justice facility. I've worked in correctional populations with adults and adolescents in the correctional system for about 20 years. And during that time, I work a lot with individuals who've experienced trauma. And so my focus has been healing from trauma. And so I came to Tanzania with Summer Learning Institute to work with students, art students who have a lot of talent, to talk about how to heal mental health and how to heal from trauma through art. So we had experience going to the universities, creating a piece together, doing a show, and it was amazing. The students worked so hard, and I learned so much from them. And now we are going on to Thai tours. We're going to see beautiful areas. We saw Chamka Hot Springs. We went to visit the Maasai. We're going to go to Kilimanjaro. So the possibilities have been amazing and they're endless, and I'm very excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Smalls. I am from Charleston, South Carolina, part of the Gullah Geechee Nation, and I have been doing hair for over 25 years. That means I have over 25 years of experience and training in that particular industry. And I joined Thai Tours, or the Teaching Art Institute, as far as their cultural exchange program, because I felt like it was a wonderful opportunity that was going to really give a great experience to not only the children but myself, the students that are part, but myself as well, on a more global level, to be able to network and all that good stuff. So we just literally finished the program with that, and it was so much fun. We learned so much, and now we're on the actual Thai tours part, where even during the program, we was able to go to the Maasai tribe. We were able to go to the hot springs. Um, we had been giving community service, dealing with the children um, in the orphanages, and we're going on the excursion with the, I believe it's for Zanzibar excursion. So I'm really excited about that. We go climbing Mount Kilimanjaro, so I'm really, really excited. And this has just been a great experience altogether. I would encourage anybody to be a part, especially if you want to be, learning abroad and, just putting out good works, or putting positive energy into the community, so you can have a positive impact. So, like I said, it's all about the Thai cultural exchange and Thai tours. Together, it makes one awesome ride when it comes to being in Tanzania, or excuse me, Tanzania. So.
So I've told you a little bit about our program from the perspective of young people that participate, looking for cross cultural exchange, uh, engaging in that global learning, some of them searching for study abroad credits. I've told you a little about the program from the perspective of instructors, experts from two different spectrums of what we call artistic practice, from cosmetology to mental health and everything in between. Before I tell you more about the program from our perspective and the kind of instructors and participants we think are best fit for this initiative, I'd like for you to all take turns coming off camera and telling us a little bit about who are you, why did you come today, what is your art form, and where are you based. If we don't go in any order, I don't mind. I guess I can start left to right. Maybe Mr. James. Please just uh, come on the camera, come off mute, and let us know why you're here today and what your art form is.
Yes, my name is Jim Dow. Um, my art form is actually
I'm sorry, Mr. James. It's not just me, but we can't hear you.
Oh, you
You're
can't?
muted.
Okay.
Yeah. I
All
thought
right.
maybe it was just me and I was doing a little technical assistance, but
All
yeah,
right. Can you hear me now?
we can.
Okay. Yeah. I'll start all over again. I'm Jim Dow, and the art form I'm talking about now is an art form, but it's also commercially, um, it can be used commercially as well. You can get paid for this. So, what it is designs, graphic design, model cars, electric cars, and how is that app how it applies in this situation is that we have cars and we have sponsors, and they want their logos and their designs on the cars. So we do that. I don't have a car with me now because I'm not home. But in addition to that, um, it's a STEM program for the electric model cars that we have are very similar to the real ones being driven on the road today. So you would learn the technology involved in that. And so if a person should decide to make that a career, that's their option. But the main focus is to get children to know what they want to do the second after they graduate from high school. So it's all prep, it's all positioned to get a child to design their future. And these are the modalities we use to help them to accomplish that. That's it. Can you hear me? Can't hear you.
I was saying that's incredible. Thank you so much. Next up, I see Miss Daphne D. Ido. I believe I'm saying that correctly. Miss
Hi,
Daphne.
I was invited by Miriam. I am a, can you hear me? Okay. So I was invited by Miriam. I am a student still, and I'm really just here to learn today.
Thank you so much for joining us. What university are you attending?
Oh, a boy State University.
Incredible. HBCUs are my favorite. I, a long time ago, attended Morgan State University. And so,
Yeah,
of course,
I
we're home
graduated.
of the Bears, orange and blue, MSU. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So then we
I
shared
graduated
that.
from I graduated from North
Nice.
Carolina A&T State University.
All right. Aggie born, Aggie dead, right?
Yes.
Aggie born, Aggie bred. When I die, be Aggie dead. Yes. Very excited about your HBCU as well. Thank you for joining us this evening. And since Miss Miriam brought you, maybe she'll go next and introduce herself. Miss Miriam, are you still with us?
I am so sorry. I am here trying to do many things at one time. I am Miriam Summers, and I'm glad to be a part of this conversation, this discussion. And my artistic form right now is education, trying to do what I can do to reform, utilize my educational background, as well as my counseling background and modalities, teaching middle school kids not only a new way or new concepts of learning, but how to ingest learning. What does it mean to learn? The prior years, many years ago, is sort of like sitting down the pedagogy way, and for our current new era youth, that's not really practical. And so, just putting together some concepts, helping our youth, and Ms. Daphne as well can speak to this. It's so crucial that we, persons of color, get back into, this is my second, third career, and to help our youth and that's what I do. I get paid to do it, but I enjoy doing it, and it is making a difference. Our children need more than just, first of all, they need people that look like them in the classroom. And they need to know that they are cared about, that people are concerned about their well being. And so that is what I do, and I will continue to do it. And that's who I am. Yes.
Well, thank you for being here. Shout out to all the educators.
Here I am.
Incredible. There she is on
Yeah.
camera. Thank you so much for
Uh-huh.
showing your beautiful
Certainly.
smile. Next up, I see Miss Micah. Could you please introduce yourself and your art form? Looks like you're on mute, Micah.
You're right. Hello, my name is Micah Johnson, and I'm a lot of things. I enjoy
I love it.
spreading joy through art. I love spending time with my elders and the babies, and sharing the gift of art brings me so much joy, and it's directly connected to my own personal healing. Um, it's essential to me breathing every day. I create something in some form or fashion every day, and it's freedom. And I raised my son like that. He's also an artist, and I just like sharing space with other people. Period. You don't have to be considered a creative. I believe that we all are creative, but you don't have to give yourself that title. Um, I just want to offer pieces of myself to help someone else feel whole. Creating beautiful things is what I do. And I like taking unusual mediums and things that people may have discarded or deemed as trash and turning it into something beautiful.
Wow, that's pretty deep, Miss Micah. Thank you for that. Educators and technology and making trash into beauty. What couldn't we do? The Summer Learning Institute is about bringing together a group of experts that not only are experts in their field, but make sense in a team, because we go collectively into a region and we teach college students, but also lifelong learners, because learning is a lifelong process. And once you truly understand that, wow, you're able to develop anything for our community. And so the ultimate goal of the Summer Learning Institute is to integrate art across sector. In order for us to encourage the participants in the institute to imagine a better world, how can art be that incubator? How can it be that modality, the source of inspiration, the muse to real thought around its use in community development, its use in STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, mathematics, in healthcare, and in business development. Yes, in education, they love when we take little kids and put their hands in paint and do murals on the wall. It makes sense, it's easily understood, but the ability for art to encourage every sector to think with the creativity of the artist class. That is what the Summer Learning Institute gives us an opportunity to do. And so we're looking for participants and instructors. I'm going to share a few slides with some information. And then I want to ask some questions to you guys and have you ask some questions to me. Remember, this is a conversation, a dialogue. And so all right. So we start by saying that every sector needs creativity. So I said a little bit about that. Sometimes artists are relegated to the position of the hired help. Our organization, the Teaching Artists Institute, we're very African centered. And when we say we're African centered, it's not because we so very much love dashikis and Ankara and, wooden beads. It's because we are changing our pedagogy as it relates to education and best practices for living. And when we look at the African centered worldview and how it describes what the artist is, it's very different from the paradigm that our organization was previously based on the European worldview of what art is. And I'm going to give you some tangible examples. So, we said that every sector needs creativity. In an African worldview, art is everything and everybody all the time. The artist is not an expert, even though many of you here on the calls are expert and did study art, whatever your art form is. But whether it be education or technology or taking trash and making it something beautiful, though that may be your expertise, creation is simply that. And anybody that engages in that act is considered the artist in the worldview of the teaching artist. And we've drawn that lesson from the African worldview. The example I'll use today is the griot. The griot is a storyteller. They hold the history of the village, but it's not like Hollywood. They're not just giving you a story for story's sake. The griot is a librarian. They hold the history of the village. And so the griot never starves. Their utility and function in the community is valued by the community members as essential. So this is like an essential worker, like we coined them during COVID, right? Artists in the African worldview are essential workers. And to do a comparative analysis, the artist in the African worldview versus the artist in the European context, the artist is an expert and they create, for example, inside of a museum. And if you want access to the artist, you need to go to the museum and you go there. Museum, the root of that word is muse, right? And they understood based on their introduction to African art that the artist was able to tap into the spiritual realm, muse, right? Tapping into the ethereal, into a realm that is beyond the physical, the metaphysical. And so they understood that concept looking from the outside in, and they said, this is a special practice. So it needs a special place. And so if they wanted to see what the artist created or emulate that, then now you, as a regular mundane person without these capabilities, you have to go to the muse or the museum, this special place. But the African world doesn't see creation in that way. We all have the same innate power to create. We've been given that. Our innovation, design thinking. What happens is over the course of our education, usually the higher up we go, we're taught that this creation, these creative urges that we get, they're not valid, or who has validated this, your ability to create, who has determined that you're excellent. And what we're saying in the Teaching Artists Institute is it is important for us to create safe spaces for those that are interested to understand that every sector needs the creativity of the artist class. And the African worldview, it informs that. We talked about the griot. Now let's talk about, for example, the drummer. The drummer wasn't just like the musician, the beat on a nice track. The drummer, they were a communication system. In times of war, there was a cadence that was played. In times of celebration, maybe a new life, or an ancestor transitioning into the ancestral realm. And so, looking at the function, the utility of the artist class is the foundation of the Summer Learning Institute. We're looking to integrate art across sector. And so we have a basic overview here, and I'm going to read that for the sake of reading it. Um, First, remember that our Summer Learning Institute is our flagship global learning opportunity, but it's not our only. And so it is underneath of the Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange program, and is focused on curating authentic exchanges with communities of the world in order to study or contribute to the region's symbolic landscape. So, what is that? The symbolic landscape is what the people believe about themselves, that narrative, and also the institutions that make up that geographical location. And so we're focused on the exchange with that narrative and with those institutions. We also the goal of the experience is to ensure that participants receive a holistic introduction to the region by being fully immersed in intimate ways with local culture and people of different sectors and class in the region. And so TI Studies is focused on making sure that even if you return back to that region, you have a real connection with somebody that you could return to. Even if you don't go to us, we want you to work that intimately with the locals. And if you do, during your time with us, we've done our job. And that is the TI Studies and Cultural Exchange program that this initiative, Summer Learning Institute, operates underneath of. So the overview for the Summer Learning Institute, basically, it's a global learning opportunity focused on art for social transformation. So that art, what is that? Is simply creation. What is social? Social is us, you, me, our communities, and transformation. What is that? That is the process. We're not looking for conflict resolution. We're not trying to solve our problems. We know that problem is a human condition. It is living. What we want to do is be better because we've experienced trauma. We want to be better because we have problems, and we understand that transformation is that process. It's the ebb and flow. It's the up and down. And so art for social transformation is what the Summer Learning Institute is focused on. We are a global learning opportunity focused on art for social transformation for students, researchers, professionals interested in international field experience and sabbaticals. If you're already doing work on an international level and you want to build your portfolio, this is an opportunity to get the legitimacy you need to further that agenda. If you are looking to see what your vision would do, what your instruction would do with an international audience, this is also an opportunity to take a deep dive. This is an opportunity. I heard some of us are in education. We're in the trenches. Some of you said you're working here in Baltimore. And let me tell you, working here in Baltimore is no easy feat. If you can do it in Baltimore, you can do it anywhere. And sometimes being able to teach abroad is like a breath of fresh air. When the students in the audience, they run to class. They can't wait to hear what you have to say that's going to inform the next decision and development stage in their lives. To work with colleagues that are so excited to partner with you to help shape this environment. That's an opportunity that is refreshing. And so when we say that it is a sabbatical, it very much is. It's a comparative analysis if you're looking to explore new approaches. And so we'll talk more about what that looks like. In addition to it being that legitimizing portfolio builder, that opportunity for sabbatical and professional development, it's also a tour because even though every program is not a tour, then or every tour is not a program, but every program is a tour. Our organization, the Teaching Artists Institute, our partner or our subsidiary is TI Tours, TAITOURS, TI Tours. And so the Teaching Artists Institute, when we began this work in November of 2015 at Coppin State University, we did so in part with Dr. Gregory Hyatt, in the Department of Performing and Visual Arts. We were looking for an opportunity to legitimize the work of teaching artists that integrate their art into community. What does it look like when they're doing this work with institutions that are saying, do you have an MFA, a Master's of Fine Arts, or are you a trained professional that has somehow gotten a degree from a degree seeking institution that should make your work valid, or and we said, what is that in between space for people that are doing this work that need some type of certification? And so we decided that the Thai Fellowship program should exist, and it would give an opportunity for teaching artists to develop a project focused on community development. And so that was our first year, November of 2015. And our organization, Teaching Artists Institute, since then we have grown into an international network of teaching artists, far beyond the Thai Fellowship program where we begin, into a socially conscious arts advocacy organization that now engages in tourism and hospitality management, as well as cultural exchange. And we entered into tourism because we were doing connection work. And we realized that Delta and Marriott and the Hilton, these were the entities that were really benefiting the most from our work. Our organization is social entrepreneurial. And so we're not the traditional 501c3 tax exempt status that um, many entities that do this social driven work that they choose as the designation for their company. We do work underneath of the fiscal sponsorship for certain projects and programs. But we realized that we needed a way to be sustainable. And so Thai Tours, every tour is not a program, but every program we do, including this one, the Summer Learning Institute, is a tour. So we always find ways to provide you with the tourist experience after your work is done. The Summer Learning Institute is the perfect example of work-life balance. And so it says Thai Tours is offering all Summer Learning Institute participants a unique artist-led travel experience that complements instruction by providing curated excursions that illuminate indigenous Tanzanian knowledge and artistic culture. And so that is how we say thank you. You've come as an instructor or an expert to give into those learners that are looking to integrate art across sector, to see it more holistically, to see creation and design thinking as the foundation for any sector, to help them explore what we call the art of possibility. And in exchange for being a willing vessel for that knowledge, we include a tour into your time in Tanzania. And so you'll go into the classrooms, but each evening we have opportunities for you to eat at some of the finest dining institutions. You'll have opportunities to go and see how the Maasai prepare their meals and create fire themselves with sticks and stones. Um, I see I have two essays due tonight and tomorrow. Blessings. Wow, those kind of students, we definitely want to participate. So please, Miss Daphne, consider what it would look like to add a global learning experience into your matriculation through your master's program. There will be a recording. And so we'll make sure that you get a copy of that recording. And hopefully you'll consider being with us next summer in Tanzania or Uganda for Summer Learning Institute 2024. And so we're saying that every participant you get a Thai Tours experience. And so we are going to continue. Oh, you said she's a doctoral PhD. Absolutely. We'll be sure to get you all the information. Um, Perhaps you can include this into your dissertation, depending on what you're researching and what you're going to contribute to your field of study as a PhD. Thank you for your time. And so we are going to continue. I'm going to share the next slide. So I hope that you all can see that it says at the top, learning how to learn again. Uh, One of the um, major focus of our program, Summer Learning Institute, you all are a part of our case study. Your very participation is a part of our organization's advocacy. We're trying to disrupt conventional thinking. We want to make sure that every other sector begins to respect the artist class in a way that has never been done before. We want to make sure that practitioners and developers that have never seen themselves as artists begin to adopt that creative thinking and to give themselves that designation. We are deconstructing social constructs around what it means to be an artist and the role and effectiveness of artists in community development. And so that is what we mean when we say we're learning how to learn again. Consider art, both the beauty of traditional forms and the innovative design and creativity found in new concepts, best practices, approaches, and methodologies. Whether you're currently studying or working in a traditional art form or another discipline, the Summer Learning Institute is for you. And so, if you don't get anything from this interest meeting tonight, I want you to know that it doesn't matter what sector you're in, even what phase in your professional development you're in. It doesn't matter if you're a student that's already in your college matriculation or if you're a high school student trying to figure out what you want to do when you grow up. Maybe you've already graduated once or twice and you want to go back around to figure out if I chose the right thing. Maybe there's something else missing. Maybe there's an experience that I want to bring back to my students. Maybe I'm looking for a new approach to doing the same thing that has already been done in my field, and I want to be cutting edge. Well, the Summer Learning Institute, we are the tip of the spear when it comes to cutting edge. Uh, and so that is us giving you an opportunity to learn how to learn again, no matter where you are in your education. So reach beyond the classroom and discover art as a new perspective to life, family, and work. In partnership with Tide Tours, this 2 week Summer Learning Institute experience will unearth the symbolic landscape of locations around the world in order to broaden your understanding of what it means to create and transform community. So, also know that ultimately, the Summer Learning Institute, in real time, we're doing community service. We're trying to leave something of benefit. This is mutually beneficial. So we want to leave something of benefit to the community that we do this work in. And so that's what it means by transforming the community that we're in. We hope you bring this experience back home to your community and continue being a cultural ambassador for the lessons and indigenous knowledge that you learn while on the ground. So we talked about those three different populations, but in summary, are you in college or did you just graduate? Summer Learning Institute was designed as an opportunity to provide college students and recent grads with an accelerated study abroad experience that culminates in a 3 credit course in teaching artistry in action. And it can add a major addition to your international portfolio work. So we work in partnership with local universities. And so we are able to give you credit for your time with us. If you're a student. So let us know in advance. Let us know what university you're with, and we can talk to your department chair to figure out how to get this experience that will only take 2 weeks as a 3 credit course towards your matriculation or your graduation day. Right. Next up, are you about to switch careers or need a refresher in your current field? Your sabbatical awaits. Allow the Summer Learning Institute to support fulfillment of international exchange, networking, and newfound perspective while being immersed in a refreshingly new environment. Come and do your research with us. So, if you are doing research and it is official, let us be a part of that. Let us be your field study. If you're doing research for the next stage in your life and it's not official, you're just figuring it out. Hey, consider what possibilities could happen when you're with us, the new networks that you'll meet. Your new opportunity may be found in another person, and it may even be in another country. Give your chance of self. Give yourself a chance to find an opportunity in another environment. Next up, are you looking to teach innovative approaches to learning and creating in your field? Are you cutting edge? Do you already understand and apply the interdisciplinary nature of art culture, innovation, and the importance of creativity in your field? And what we're saying is maybe you are the bomb.com. Maybe you already know that art is a pillar and a foundation to every form of learning. Maybe you already integrate these things and you're looking for an opportunity to legitimize that theory and you need it from an international university that may be more forward thinking, or maybe you need the opportunity to be in a network of people that are doing the same thing. This is your opportunity. Okay, so now I'm saying that come and gain international teaching experience in partnerships with universities around the world. And so, though you'll have an opportunity to do the arts and culture, tourism, the cultural exchange, and all of the things that come with uh, breathing in new air, being in a different environment, how that supports your spirit and raises your energy level. You get all that, but when you leave, you also have the documentation, you have the legitimacy, you have this university that's saying, yes, they did that. So now I'm going to talk a little about some of the sectors that we're looking to integrate art into. And so, again, I'll say it again, every sector needs creativity. So, course track overview. The Summer Learning Institute will be hosted in the United Republic of Tanzania across cities in partnership with the Bagamoyo College of Arts, Tsuba, at Tumaini University, Makumira, at the Cultural Arts Center. What isn't yet included into this list, but will be included, is Makumira in Kampala University. The program will offer participants 6 2-week course tracks that will be divided into morning and afternoon instruction. Evenings will be reserved for community immersion activities. And so the first track is the one they love so much, arts and education. And if they knew how holistic this was, they wouldn't put it inside of just one classroom. But for the sake of our course track overview, arts and education, participants will be able to construct and demonstrate an approach to arts integration into a community classroom setting using the symbolic landscape. So this is our bread and butter. We can't wait to help be a part of this course track's development with whichever instructor fills that role for next year. Next up, arts in social justice. Participants will use basic tenets of film and media production to engage with media advocacy and an exploration of voice in a discussion of equity and inclusion. And so that's a really multifaceted course track for next year that will require the expertise of so many types of artists. Maybe you're learning how to edit footage. Maybe you're good with messaging. Maybe you've done quite a bit of reading, and we can just provide you with the tools you need to capture that message in social justice, equity, and inclusion with the local population. The possibilities are endless. Next up, arts in STEM, but it should say STEAM, science, technology, arts, engineering, and mathematics. Participants will discover innovative approaches to exploring balance and technological advancement and the human polity. And so this could very well look like Mr. James, talking about his technology with the new race car models, right? We consider that STEAM. Absolutely, it is. Teaching that to young people, solar powered vehicles, battery powered vehicles. That is art to us, not just the paint on the outside of the vehicle. Next up, arts and health. Participants will be able to use narrative and rhythm in an exploration of autism. We have arts and community development. Participants will use traditional art forms to conduct resource mapping and community canvassing in an exploration of civic engagement theory and best practices. Still looking for an instructor in this course track. And last but not least, arts and business development and workplace. Participants will explore employee wellness and productivity in small scale and corporate environments. And so those are the course tracks that we're looking to find instructors for the 2024 Summer Learning Institute in Tanzania and Uganda. Just to give you an idea of some of those who have served as instructors in the past and some of our past partners. Um, I'm just going to go through a few. Meet the instructors. We have Sister Yavita uses theater in all its aspects to create, educate, enlighten, and to transform her special gifts. Is using the educational tools that theater employs to add value to students' lives and cultivate their holistic development. She seeks to uplift the positive role of women in society throughout the diaspora. Another example of a past instructor, we have Miss Charlotte Hill O'Neill. She's AKA Mama C. She's an internationally known writer, poet, visual artist, musician, priestess, filmmaker, and longtime community activist of more than 3 decades of experience. She was born in Kansas City in 1951 and has lived in Africa with her husband, Pete O'Neill, since 1970. She is the mother of 2 children, the founder and program director of the United African Alliance Community Center, UAACC, located outside of Arusha, Tanzania. We have another local Tanzanian musician, choreographer, and all around performer, Bagamoyo's Shija John Gambula, founder of the Africa Changu Marimba. Changu means pot in Swahili, and stays committed to empowering the untapped hub of artistic talent in the world of rhythm and beats. He shares his artistic skills and active participation as a teacher and researcher. He embraces various soul rhythm projects in Africa and internationally, crowning his efforts and his uniquely designed creation of homegrown traditional instruments. So we're looking at people that have been traditional artists and non-traditional. A non-traditional artist is Bokor Ia Marie. She is the founder and spiritual leader of the Ile Imole, a unique space for the practice of African religion and spirituality. She is initiated and consecrated into the spiritual Baptist practices of the Caribbean and the African traditional spiritual practices of the Yoruba people of Nigeria and the Iwa people of Togo and Ghana. She is trained in healing touch and energy based biofield therapy, classical hatha yoga, and raw food nutrition and preparation. She is a registered cardiovascular invasive specialist for over 37 years of experience in the cardio cath lab. She is also a faculty member at the IFA University. And next up, we have Mr. Haki Ami. He's also the president of our organization, the Teaching Artists Institute. He has served as an instructor at the Summer Learning Institute, and he's a best-selling author, radio host, entrepreneur, and community organizer committed to economic empowerment of global Africans. He brings his experience in network marketing and small business development. And so, as you can see, we've had instructors from across sector to participate. And so it's not a matter of if you can be one of our global learners and find benefit, or if you could serve as one of our experts and be an instructor, it's how. And so let us have that conversation with you. If you've heard something tonight that you think will benefit your practice and you would like to participate. Just to tell you a little about the legitimacy of some of our partners, we really work with big wigs. Some of them are like CAC. CAC is the Cultural Arts Center at Tumaini University, Makumira. CAC provides opportunities for artists and visitors to develop and explore many kinds of music, dance, theater, arts, and more of their beautiful facilities on 11.5 acres of land. They do workshops and performances with their professional dancers and music, and also they provide technical assistance like sound and lighting and recording. And so we appreciated being with them. Some of you from Baltimore, you may know the Wombwork Productions. We've partnered with them in 2021 as well as 2022. And they're example of one of our local partners that we've scaled internationally into this space. And if you don't know what the Wombworks is, they are a fully comprehensive production company that seeks to heal and empower youth, families, and communities through the performing arts. Last but not least, just as an example of the high quality partnerships we have and have had over the years for the Summer Learning Institute, we also have Tasuba, and its title is in Swahili, as it should be, but it's Yasana Ya Utamna Duni Bagamoyo Tasuba, formerly the Bagamoyo College of Arts. The main aim is to develop and promote Tanzanian arts and culture and impact knowledge of the same to existing and future generations from any anywhere in the world. So, anywhere in the world, that means you, family. That means you. So, we have one of our past instructors, Baba Haki Ami, is with us. So, I'm going to ask him to say a few words about his experience as an instructor. You've heard on the YouTube video from some of them, and he's here with us live. Looks like he's chewing a whole lot over there. Maybe if you swallow, you want to say a few words about your experience with the Summer Learning Institute.
Yes, and good evening, everybody. Hope you all are wonderful, enjoying this conversation. So definitely thank you, Kim, for this amazing presentation. So we've had some great experiences with our Summer Learning Institute over the past 4 years, and Tanzania has been a hub for many different operations that we've done. So we've truly developed a connection with many of, previous instructors, as well as the students at Tsuba, shall I say. So we're looking forward to the opportunity to continue to expand this movement that we're building and create some true long-standing relationships with those that are coming with us, and of course those that we meet there in Tanzania, of course. So that's all I have to say. But thank you, Kim, for this opportunity, and let's make it happen.
Nice. And so we've gotten to the point in our presentation where it's no longer me talking to you, but you are also talking to us. And so I want to open the floor first for some questions that you may have heard about what the Summer Learning Institute is, why our organization, the Teaching Artists Institute, thinks it's so important. It should serve as our flagship global learning opportunity. And yeah, any question you may have at all about how you can participate in that experience after what you've heard tonight. I see lips moving, but you have to come off mute.
Okay.
So it looks like you pushed the mute button again.
Okay. Okay. Am I off now?
Yes.
What are the durations of the lessons that you participate in?
So this year, the duration of the program, yes?
Yes.
Yes. So this year, our program will take place in two separate regions. The first will be Tanzania. So for those that are interested in doing only one country, you would be there from June 24th until July 4th. And for the second portion of our program, for those that are interested in Uganda, they'll be there in Uganda from July 6th through July 17th. And so we have an application where the dates will be more specific. We're hoping that, um, you know, people sign up to be in both regions, but we know in advance that we want to do programming in both. And depending on whether or not we get the numbers and the interest, that'll determine if we're able and we actually have the capacity to offer both experiences. And so, again, June 24th through July 4th, 10 days later. And then July 6th through July 17th for Uganda. So both in East Africa, um, and both opportunities available for you. Did that answer your question, Mr. James?
Yes.
Perfect. Questions. Do we have any more questions? So if there aren't
Well,
any questions, oh, I see
we have,
somebody
well,
coming off.
it's not necessarily a question, just I'm just thinking, listening to you, share all the valuable information that you have, and I believe it would be impactful. But in terms of establishing or designing a curriculum, giving any thought to that, to work with our youth. And of course, I'm in Baltimore County. Is really no difference in Baltimore City and urban cities, urban area. Baltimore County has the likeness of an urban area. We're just thinking about a curriculum, something to share, to implement, to use in our local at home um, institutions in education. Those are just my thoughts about that. Bringing it back, bringing some information, knowledge, putting it into something that can be shared. You know.
Absolutely. So right now we have a program under our Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange Initiatives called A is for Africa. And A is for Africa is a grade-based, incentivized um, project that prepares young people over the course of 10 months for a 2 week immersion into the continent. And so we each month do a workshop with those young people around some of the issues that they need to prepare themselves for global learning, for African centered worldviews and communalism, what it means to work with cooperative economics and collective work and responsibility. And so we do that over the course of 12 months, once per month. We send them in the mail a box, the tools of the Thai trade, uh, flags that show them what the Pan African colors are and the country that they may be going to, shea butters and cacao, chocolate bars to show them where, and the seed, this is what it looks like before it becomes a chocolate bar, and taste that, see the rainbow, see the difference. Books and maps and coins and paraphernalia and swag. And so we send that to them in the form of a box each month, along with the virtual workshop, and sometimes in person, depending on the climate and the population and the participation enrollment. And then it culminates with a 2 week immersion into the continent. And so that is an example of a program that we have under our Thai Studies and Cultural Exchange programming that's centered on global learning for that middle school population that is here in the US. And we can share more information with you about that. We call all of those initiatives Thai High. And so
Oh,
uh, we can
fantastic.
certainly share that with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
That was a
Is there an
great
age,
question. No, I'm sorry, Mr. Jim, please go.
is there an age range?
So we usually do middle school and above. We do have initiatives for younger students, but they're all based in the region of the country. They are not international in nature. But yeah, we will be open to taking middle school and above on this with to participate in the Summer Learning Institute. Yeah. But if you're asking if there's a target age, we would say high school and college definitely is target. But what I've realized, I started as an educator in Baltimore City Public Schools as well, at Calverton Middle School, and then over at Northwestern High School in the Park Heights area. Um, and what I realized is that by the time you get to high school, sometimes it's too late. And so really middle school is it's a foundational period in development, and if you can catch the attention of the young person while they're in that age group in their stage of development, it makes your work over the next 4 years very easy, or it could be an uphill battle and you'll be trying to make up for lost time. Um, and so, yeah, we definitely include the middle school population in any international experience that we have because we know what impact it can make on the trajectory of that young person's development.
I agree. I say urban, suburban. Urban is a part of that suburban. And we had several programs at the local school. They they were, I think last week they went on a trip. Well, it was actually today is Tuesday. It was yesterday to the Reginald Lewis Museum, and they were asked not to return, and they set out to destroy some of the artifacts and just the school will never be able to return to Reginald Lewis Museum. And I'm saying that to speak to we have a tendency to look at urban areas, and but people are people wherever they are, and that's why I bring it up because we need to help our young people. It's a middle school, and our young folk are hurting, and sixth, seventh, eighth graders they're hurting, and they need instructions, they need knowledge, they need love, caring, understanding, but they need a foundation. And never have I heard, or where I come from, which is Maryland, but on the eastern shore of Maryland, to for a school to never to say you can never this school under this name, these children can never return to Reginald Lewis Museum, and that saddens me. So we need something. We need to help our children, as you stated. By the time they're in high school, typically, it's really too late. A few may make it and become successful. I'm not denying that, but overall, yeah, we need to start at the younger, the better, and clearly before they get to high school. Yeah, I agree. And I just
For
wanted to
sure.
share that. And this is actual truth. They cannot return to Reginald Lewis Museum because of destruction of property.
Well, that's really sad. You mentioned some of the things that they need. They need love. They need care, but they need an exposure. Um, Global learning is essential, but it's also, it's foundational. You need to get outside of the world you were born in. It's the greatest source of education that you'll ever receive, and um, having the ability to travel is not a luxury. It is a necessity for you to really develop to your fullest potential. You just don't know who you could be if you've not seen outside of the world you were born in. And you also don't know how grateful you should be, even in the midst of immense poverty and pain, until you've seen life in somebody else's shoes. And so it provides that without having to say so. Immersion, um, it's effective. And so I advocate for that. I'm a big advocate for global learning, travel, education, and immersion. And so when we say that our organization, the Teaching Arts Institute, operates with an African worldview, it's because embedded into our pedagogy is expeditionary learning, this community service, like things that we think without these components, the education is ineffective. And maybe we are genius, and so we've learned how to learn in situations that aren't designed with us in mind, or not designed for us to maximize our fullest potential. But learning about the soil inside of four walls without putting your hands in the dirt, this is not the African way uh, to learn about the elements. It just isn't. And so the same thing comes for discipline, right? Your environment can quicken you, it can bring you into compliance. Nature can do that. When we walk up Kilimanjaro, with our high school students, we don't have to tell them not to play around. They can look over that cliff and see the result of playing around. Their environment instructs them. They understand this. When they come into the classroom, it's almost a break from their environment sometimes. So they're playing and they're off task, because when they go back to their real environment that has taught them how to behave, how to come into compliance, they know how to be disciplined on their street. Sometimes their survival depends on it. And so they've learned these lessons. And sometimes them acting out is just them taking a load off of the stress of always having to be on or aware, hyper vigilant and on alert. And so, all these things play into it. And our organization, we sometimes find teaching artists that are looking to offer their arts to the traditional school system. And so we empower them in that way. And if the school that you're referring to, if they're looking for teaching artists to help them with classroom management, co-instruction, um, hey, we can be a source, a resource. And if they want to deconstruct that model and curriculum that tells them that field trips are for Fridays and everything
Yeah,
else you learn is inside of the classroom. So we can also curate experiences that provide alternatives to that
yeah,
linear
yeah.
model education.
Good,
Well,
great,
Jim,
great feedback.
Are there any more questions? I know we
one thing,
we were off task but on assignment. And so yes, Mr.
I've,
James.
what I've discovered, the missing link is why. Why should I behave? Why should I learn? What am I? Why should I be exposed to this? If they can't come up with a reason for these events to happen, it makes it much worse. What I am understanding is when a kid graduates from high school without any knowledge of what going to happen to them the moment after they graduate, they wasted all the school because they had to get educated at the time that they graduated. Myself, it took me about 25 years old to get some understanding is which way to go in my life. But with these things that you're offering in your program, if if the children understand what they can do with what they're learning, or why they're having those kinds of experience, it's much more effective for them.
Wow. Thank you, Mr. Jim. And we hope that you'll consider joining us at the Summer Learning Institute next year, and maybe bring some of your pupil with you, some of your mentees and students, so that we can show them, demonstrate to them the benefits of being involved, um, so that they can interact with college students that are already doing this, so that they can answer some of these questions before they get to college. Um, and so, yeah, the preparation for college is now. The preparation for entrepreneurship, a life in entrepreneurship is now. Me, I'm a social entrepreneur. I mean, I can remember being 10 and 11, 6, making jewelries out of beads and selling them to the ladies at church. I've always been an entrepreneur and creator. And so it has manifested that energy. And sometimes when young people aren't given a positive outlet to cultivate that energy, it becomes destructive. And so hopefully the Summer Learning Institute um, is providing a platform for cultivating that creativity and opportunities for healthy and positive networking and membership and belonging, necessary for youth development, professional development, personal development, spiritual development. Um, it's all here in the Thai family fabric. And so, if there are other questions, I would love to answer them. If not, please get back to the person that invited you here tonight. If you were here because you found this on our social media page, Teaching Artists Institute, facebook.com/one word teaching artists, then please send an inbox message to that inbox, Teaching Artists Institute, and let them know that you are interested in participating with us next year on the continent, in East Africa, in Tanzania, or Uganda, or both. We're looking forward to having you all with us. Thank you again. Have a good night. Be well, blessed, peace, and blessings.
Well, thank you so much. Have a good night,
Thank
all.
you.
Awesome.
Yes, have a great night, everyone.
Yeah.
So how do I go? How do I get out? Just click out of the button.